Oh, Marjorie. Hey, Dr. Bob. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. And thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you back with these important topics. And I wanted to start off, Marjorie, give us some background, a quickie background on yourself and this whole world, a great word, connect diplomacy, using our differences to connect. Last time you were on, the beginning of the summer, we were talking about the Olympics being such a great example of any of this. But go ahead.
Well, I have written a couple books. One of them is Connect Diplomacy, using our differences to connect. And basically what that says is, look, we are all different. We have different ideologies, different religions, different ways of thinking. We all look different, and that's okay. But we need to respect each other. And it's amazing to me how so much has happened in our world that we've kind of lost that. And that's it's a lot when I was involved with politics. That's how this all started.
Oh, my gosh. Politics.
Yeah.
Differences.
Well, the division.
Yes.
Yeah, the
but
division
you
has
and
become.
I talked about, the teammates and organizations working together, the educational system trying to pay big attention, what's so important to be learned. What's the best website people can find out about you, your work, and your books?
Sure. They can go to my nonprofit is americaconnected.org, or my direct email is it's marjoriehope@marjoriehope.com. And that is my name, by the way, and that's the name on my book. I have found that this division, a lot of it, though, honestly, is caused by the media. It's always been there. We've always had division.
It became entertainment, and it really became then adversarial. And then when you throw in social media and that whole world, good luck to us. And we talk about these topics. I call it the mental game, whether I'm talking with a sports psychologist, a psychiatrist, a mental coach, someone in the whole world of this diplomacy like you're so much talking about. And many times I ask, well, I'm knocking on wood, how we're doing. And we ain't doing that well, are we?
Unfortunately, no. Factors such as the rise of social media, the 24-hour news cycle, and the increasing influence of special interest groups have amplified these divisions. And amazingly, we all knew one side in the politic part of this was going to win and one part doesn't. That's just how to pick one. And you would think the person I would be happy if my side, who I wanted, won, right? But they weren't even happy. The things I saw on social media are so divisional, and that's the part that's scary, because politicians and media outlets, they've exploited these differences, but for their gain, framing the issues in ways that exasperate conflict rather than encouraging understanding.
And what's amazing, again, using the Olympics as an example, is over the millennium, thousands of years, at the beginning of something like the Olympics, again, getting 200 countries together, all of these different societies together, and they cooperate. Like we just saw in Paris in a lot of ways, and you would think that, boy, oh boy, what a great example. And it just doesn't seem to, although I think it turns a lot of heads when we have somebody like you paying big attention. When you're talking about America Connected, and you've been around, 7, 8 years with that?
Yeah, I've been doing this about 15 years, but my organization started in 2016. And I'll tell you, even the Olympics became divisional. I don't know if you remember, Dr. Bob, but they had a huge grand opening of a feast, and it was the Feast of Dialysis, but people thought it was something else, and they immediately on social media started saying, we're banning the Olympics. We're not going to watch it anymore. And it turned into this political thing. And I actually got out there and said, no, this is not the way. They were trying to do a good thing. They worked really hard on this. Let's support them. And have fun with the Olympics. Let's enjoy it. But so much now is taken in a negative way.
Well, you have a major point. You talk a major point of using our differences to connect. I mean, that's a big statement that flies in the face, properly flies in the face of making a big deal about our differences, it being such a freaking hassle. But how do we use our differences to connect?
Well, see, first of all, what's happened, too, is it's become a fragmented society because dialogue is stifled and individuals tend to retreat into, think about this, the echo chambers that reinforce their beliefs. So that's what social media does. You go to the group that acts like you, thinks like you, believes like you, and same with the news.
I didn't think Americans. I remember the movie, the Manchurian Candidate with Frank Sinatra, or North Korea. I never thought Americans could be brainwashed in one direction or another until the world.
Look at World War II.
Yes, I mean the social media, the constant hearing exactly what you want to hear. It's pretty amazing how effective it's been. It's very disorienting.
Exactly, and here's the interesting thing. And I actually did a little survey on this. People that are very, very strongly political one way or the other, if you're walking down the street, they don't know you. You're just walking down the street, you fall down, you skin your knee, let's say, you go, ouch, they see it happen. They'll turn around and try to help you. Are you okay? Are you all right? Oh, okay. They'll get you help if you need it. But that same person will bash you if he found out what you believe in that's different from them. And this is what happened in World War II. You had people that went to dinner together, that did barbecues, that had picnics, their families were friends, and yet they turned each other in during the Nazi reign of Hitler. But why was that? Because they really believe it. They don't do it to, quote, be mean, to be nasty. They just have been indoctrinated.
Yes, but when you're putting a team together, again, with athletes from all over the place, even if it's youngsters, but especially as we get into, you're talking the high school, college kids from all over the place, transferring and whatever, and having the necessity of getting along and dealing with their coach and dealing with their parents, and then finding out that it's so much pressure and so difficult for so many of these kids, from the bullying side, again, or the social media side, and a lot more education is really needed to be paying attention to some of the major points that you're talking about.
Well, and there are pathways to reconnection. Despite the challenges posed by any division, the first step is recognizing that while differences are inevitable, they do not have to be divisive. And I think we need to teach people that it is okay to disagree.
That's a big point. I think that's the learning point where you mentioned, again, going back to using our differences to connect, where you're saying this should be a positive, not a negative. And boy, that's like a new thought.
I love your show, by the way. I was on your show last time. I think I may have spoke about a train ride I was on in Dubai when I met an Arab sheikh. And what was interesting is he let me get his picture. We kind of conversed for a few minutes, and it was just an amazing experience because he obviously recognized how different he and I were. From man, woman, different religions, again, different ideologies. We look different.
You're lucky he talked to you.
Well, not only that,
right.
But I asked him for my picture, which I didn't think he'd do, but not only did he do that, he gave me a thumbs up. And it's actually in my book. But that showed me he recognized and understood we were both human beings. Of course, we were different. We would never be best friends, but we were friends. And that's okay. And the respect we have for each other as a human being is the best that we can get in the world. Because we don't have to like each other. We don't even have to like everyone in our family. But we need to respect each other. And engaging in conversations where an individual feels heard and valued, that creates the sense of connection, even when your opinion differs. And I think that's what we're missing, is that everybody counts, everybody's opinion is going to differ, but we can approach it with a mindset of curiosity rather than judgment.
Well, it's interesting because, it's funny, wherever I've had guests on the show, anywhere in the world, whatever their vocation was, topic was, mental health, again, sports, not sports, high performance, business world, life, and health and wellness. But whatever their area was, mental health was such a big deal in so many ways. I knew the time was going to fly by with you, Marjorie. We had a crazy mix-up with the time with the show. Give us again the best place to find out about you, your work, and your books.
Sure. My books on both books actually are on Amazon. Connect Diplomacy: Using Our Differences to Connect by Marjorie Hope. I also have a book called Carrie's Gold, which is actually a gymnastics book, teaching about gymnastics as far as flexibility and the strength that you need in the world to get along and
right.
connect.
Last time we talked about you owning a gymnastics school. Next time I get you back, we're going to get back on it. Marjorie,
sounds
hold on
great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great talking to you.